WCW Mayhem. It starts in the ring. It just doesn't have to end there. Oh, my goodness.
That was so rude.
Aggression. The album, 13 killer tracks, featuring Method Man's own version of Know Your Role.
The Rock has come back, laying down the smack on you monkey crap candy-coated ass.
Snoop Dogg, Cool Keith and ODB, The East Siders, Redman and Rock, and more. WWF Aggression, the album, in stores March 21st.
There's an epidemic affecting thousands of young Canadians, a condition scientists are calling the Munchies. I'm World Wrestling Federation superstar Chris Jericho, and I've joined forces with Taco Bell to fight this hunger. You can join our tag team. By making a donation of only $3.99, you'll receive 3 Taco Supremes and a drink. Act now, and together we can help young people like Todd pummel the Munchies.
Press play!
Betty, do you have a date? Would you like to go to the dance?
What's the 99, baby? What's the 99, baby?
In 1969, a man by the name of Dimitri Martin had a vision in his mind. 3 days of peace, love, and music for all mankind. 30 years later, Generation X had some own fun, and some motherfuckers said it was a crime. 3 days of fire, fucking, and a good-ass time.
No fires. No fires. Okay, no fires.
Some people say we were the worst generation because of the violence, destruction, and nudity. Pointing at the mooks and the kooks, saying that we like crudity. Thousands upon thousands of shirtless bros rolling around in shit as a community. You can't spell toxic masculinity without unity.
No unwanted touching. Yeah. This is sort of like a head-to-toe policy. Fists included, so no fist fights. I
So
know.
please, mighty Jesus, to your holy ass we pray. Bless us on this cruise ship voyage as we head on our way. Guide us through troubled waters and don't lead us astray. Cause we're good fucking people, no matter what Kurt Loder say.
There is no throwing poop on this. I don't even know why I have to say this. I mean, this is pretty...
Now it's time once again for us to come together
This
and
one's
celebrate. Have a sexy ass time so no one has to masturbate. Bunch of bastards jumping around like we primates. And the man on the mic is the next president of the United States. Because I am American badass. Watch me kick, you can roll with Rocky, you can suck my dick. I'm a porno flick. I'm like Amazing Grace. I'm gonna fuck some hoes after I rock this place.
Press play! There's the magic finger! Pressing down! Yeah!
The Wrestling Club with Darren and Brett. We've got a show that you'll never forget.
I'm not used to saying that. Usually that's Darren's job, but Darren is missing. Darren is MIA. He's on special assignment, and we're very worried for him. But I'm here. The man upstairs, Isaiah, is here. And welcome to Wrestling Club, the only space safe for all wrestling fans, be you lapsed, gosh, I don't even know what he says. He says so much at the beginning. Ashamed. This is welcome to Wrestling Club. It's for ashamed wrestling fans. I am your host, Brett Davis. If you like the show, please let us know however you can. Either tell your friends about it, leave us a review, a 5-star rating. Check out some of the shows in the archive with the likes of Colt Cabana and Terry Funk, Chris Gethard. And thank you for downloading this episode or watching live. If you're watching live in the chat, sound in, because I'm solo, but not quite solo, because we have a very special guest joining us. We've got professional wrestler extraordinaire who just whooped ass last night in a top secret Bushwick.
I think it was technically Williamsburg. Yeah.
East Williamsburg Secret Fight Club wrestling show. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot more. This pre-roll video is a clip of our Woodstock 99 episode of the special. If Darren shows up in time, we will get a story from him that is unbelievable about Woodstock 99. And Sazzy here, who I didn't even introduce. Oh my goodness. Darren's there. See, Darren's the professional broadcaster here. He's the WFMU DJ. I'm sort of the color commentary. But you're going to be on Poly-Am Woodstock. We'll talk about that. We're talking about Woodstocks. We're talking about the crazy week in wrestling. Please welcome our guest, Sazzy Boatright, to the show.
Thanks, Brett. I'm so happy to be here. I'm like fanning out so hardcore right now.
Well, thank you. I wish we could have a better situation. Every episode of this show is us apologizing for how it's starting, but this week especially, Darren's missing. I was getting weird videos.
Darren, do you want to call somebody? Should we we can't file a missing persons report until after 24 hours, I think.
You know, if he does join and he tells this story, you'll know that this is not an isolated incident. Sometimes Darren goes off the handle and he disappears. He goes missing. Hopefully he'll be able to tell us this story in person. But if not, I don't know. I don't know where he is. But we're worried. But we do have a lot to talk about this week. First, let's talk about you. Where are you at in your wrestling journey right now?
I am at the beginning. I just debuted last night at Industrial World Wrestling secret show called Good Vibes and Dives. And I went up against a kid named Dro Doobie, the man of 420 names. And Brandon Hamilton rattled off every last one of those 420 names before I, just kind of killed him. And that was it. It was really nice. It was it was like I was a debutante at the ball, I really felt that way.
Your cotillion.
Yeah, I was at my little cotillion and I got to come out to my mom fucking music and, hump the turnbuckle and hump the ropes and hump the air and flick everybody off and do this to everybody and then and
you're a rated R superstar.
Yes, yeah, very much so. I did a seminar with Anthony Green right before the show, and he asked all of us to cut promos just to kind of see where we were at with that, and he was like, you need to not say the F word so much. I think that if you said the F word not at all during your promo, it probably wouldn't have been that long. Okay, well, I can talk slower.
One thing that you've been doing that's very fun to watch is variations of a wrestler's first try at a type of promo.
Yes.
Which I've really enjoyed. Maybe you could give a demo.
Oh yeah, it started as a joke in class, or at the wrestling academy I train at, T2T. Well, I don't know, we were doing drills or something, and we were just everybody, it was a running joke with everybody, the classic heel, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, this your boy, shut up, and I was just I don't even know where I was. Oh, I guess I was at home, and I was like, I'm just gonna put this video online, I'm just gonna one take it and put it up and see what people, and it exploded. And so I know you from comedy, right? And when I was doing strict comedy before I really dove headfirst into wrestling, because I've dabbled since 2018, which you can't really dabble in pro wrestling. It doesn't really make any sense, but I was always so afraid to do stuff like that because I was I'm just not that funny, I'm just not. And I think things about the wrestling world and the indie wrestling community in general, specifically, are so niche, and people are so used to seeing a certain type of indie wrestler if they're a wrestling fan, that I guess it really got over. But yeah, I just kind of have been like, you know, putting things on video that like I see from people who are, you know, kind of in the beginning of their wrestling journeys as well. And, you know, no
have you
shame
ever
to
seen
anybody.
on Vimeo, I think it was, or
Mhm.
like Daily Motion, somebody leaked all of the like NXT promo classes from like the ultimate, like, you know, star-studded era of NXT, and some of them are just so embarrassing, and a lot of them, like, you can tell they're
God, I have to see
experiments
that.
where it's like, yeah, Paige is also Bailey. And yeah, like Jason Jordan is Sasha Banks' bodyguard. It's very fun to see. You and I met on a music video shoot at House of Glory.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So fateful, you know?
I know.
Like, that's where I met Jay George Estrella, the Thundercard.
Mhm.
And he was at the show last night and he was like, I'm so proud of you, man. And I was like, you were my first wrestling friend. And it was from that shoot. Should
Yeah.
we talk about it? Or like, is that weird?
Yeah, we could talk about it. I think our friend Jess Lane made the video. It came out really great.
So cool. Yeah, it was so cool.
And I'd love to direct people towards it. However, it turns out that our co-star turned out to be a bad guy, and not like in a speaking out kind of like somebody like shone a light on him. It's like, no, it was like, oh, the news just reported this pedophile. It was like
Cop showed up at his door at 6 a.m. kind of shit.
Yeah. So, you know,
yeah,
whatever, it's lost to time. If you're super diligent, I think you'll be able to find it. But you know, otherwise it was just a real fun day. Bunch of comedians and wrestlers and musicians. That's kind of the spirit of wrestling club. What was your first entree into wrestling?
Gosh, I mean, I think like I watched SmackDown a lot in high school. SmackDown? What was Booker T on? I was a big Booker T fan growing up.
I was like mostly a SmackDown guy.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, you know, really drawn to him because he at the time was so different than most of the white male roster. And you know, China too, you know, it was kind of like she like touched a nerve because she kind of rode the gender line a little bit. And you know, I really just watched it with my high school boyfriend and his brother and his friends, you know, and it was kind of like, because of that, it was kind of like, oh, I never took ownership of it because it was like my boyfriend's thing, you know, it's not my thing. And then I went off to art school and I swore off wrestling and anything lowbrow for 4 years. And then I went about my life until 2016. I was invited to go to La Boom to see an Evolve show. And there I met and befriended Drew Gulak, Johnny Gargano. Zack Sabre Jr. was there. Chris Hero was there. I don't know how I feel about Chris Hero, but I still kind of am a fan of his. I don't know. I don't want to be controversial, but
hey, we'll title this "Sazzy Boatright Shoots Hard," and we'll get all those hits.
Canceled before she even starts. But yeah, so like it was like Fred Yehi. It was like, oh man, all of these dudes who like eventually just kind of skyrocketed after that. Like so many of them went on to NXT, like literally months that Matt Riddle was there, you know, it was just like, it was like the most fantastic thing I had seen to date, you know, and I was like, so taken by it. And also really seriously kind of standing there watching and thinking, I could do this. I could do this. I mean, I'm sure it's hard. These people are very talented. They've been working for years. It's kind of a long shot, but I think I could do this. because I'm athletic. I'm a personal trainer by trade, you know, and I'm an actor. So, you know, I kind of was like nursing that idea, that little like a little dream of becoming a pro wrestler for many, many years. And then in 2018, I actually ended up going back to the House of Glory where we shot the music video and training with the trainers from FTW for a minute. So the Grim Reaper and Malta, the Destroyer. You know that guy? He's like huge.
I don't know him.
He's a shindy guy. Very hot take. I hope he doesn't hear this. But they were great.
I just got to see. Yeah, I just got to see Grim Reaper's LA debut at GCW.
Yeah, how was it?
It was great. You know, I think something that if you're somebody that just watches WWE or AEW, it's like, yeah, just go to these smaller shows. Especially now, you're gonna meet somebody who is gonna be on TV in 6 months at this rate. Like,
yeah,
you know,
yep.
This you know, I had Nick Gage. I got to do the Nick Gage get into the little pit where everybody
oh my God.
just elbows each other, and you know, it's like, yeah, that's something I've wanted to do. I've seen Nick Gage wrestle before, but always from afar, and this was like,
right. That would be so special.
But yeah, you know, like I'm sorry.
I was just like trying to think
of
other things. But the House of Glory shows too at the Queens Arena. Did you ever go to those?
I know I never did. I'm hearing about all these cool shows like the one you were on, and I'm like, you know, I really didn't take advantage of being in Brooklyn and seeing all the great shows they had.
Because you're in LA now?
I'm in LA, which is, you know, especially this month, we had the PWG started again. New Japan just did a show last night. So it does feel like the happening place. GCW is coming back next month. You know, there's a lot going on here. So, you know, I'm making a point, especially doing the show now where wrestling's a little more in the front of my brain, you know, being able to see cool stuff. So
that's kind of like, it's funny because in the ADC, at least in my opinion, it's sort of like the grass is always greener, because people are always like, oh, they're, you know, I mean, people in New York are like, there's no good indie scene in New York. Maybe that's true to some extent now, but you know, we've got people at our wrestling academy who are working up in New England a lot, and then sometimes going down south. But I'm always under the impression that like every other place has like these amazing shows happening, because I'm watching IWTV and they're like in Pennsylvania or in Massachusetts or Maine or Florida or California. I don't know if I've seen anything on IWTV that's been filmed in California though. I mean,
GCW's on Fight. I don't know. I was in person, so. But you know, there's stuff.
Yeah, there's so
regardless
much.
of where you are. Yeah, and it's to segue into our news segment. It's never been a more exciting time to be a wrestling fan.
It hasn't, right?
Like between, you know, people blowing up, just like, you know, seeing Lee Moriarty, and it's like, oh well, he's on you know, he's Dark, on AEW this week.
Yes.
Yeah, he's on Dark, and you know, it's just like it's really like tomorrow, like Nick Gage just, you know, have the big match with Matt Cardona, and then it's like now he's wrestling Chris Jericho. It's all these like shocking rising moments. And you know, let's get into the news. I don't how closely are you following, because you're doing the thing.
I'm doing, and I'm trying. You know, I caught up on Rampage today, which I was kind of excited about. I gotta say, AEW has really like done a good job of creating a very tight, well-moving show, which I really appreciate. You know, like not a lot of commentary, not a lot of like long-winded promos or anything like that.
Not 3 hours of rematches.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, is this, I don't think this is the whole program. It's 44 minutes. And they fit all those matches and all those promos in 44 minutes. You know, I mean, the commercials aren't there, but I was streaming on TNT and I was like, this is awesome. You know, I was like doing the thing where I was sitting next to my girlfriend on the couch with my headphones on, just like watching it like a child, you know, because she doesn't like wrestling in the house. And I couldn't believe that my program was finished before hers. And I was like, you didn't even notice. You didn't even notice I was watching wrestling, you know? And that's
been my biggest problem in relationships.
Yep. It's really hard. You know, she was gone for a week and I binge watched Stardom. I binge watched like all of this Yoshi wrestling, you know. I watched the Gaia Girls documentary. I was watching Stardom.
Thank God you're not training there.
Yo, at that particular time too, I was having like a really hard time in training, just like on a personal level, just kind of feeling like I was like hitting a wall and not progressing and stuff. And then my coach Jake Logan Black, the King of Chaos, he introduced me to that documentary, and I was like, I should be very grateful for what I have, you know.
Yeah, you don't have Miko Satomura trying to kick your jaw off your face.
Oh my god!
If you haven't seen the Gaia Girls documentary, it is maybe the best wrestling documentary ever made. It's there's like no music. It's really like, you know, a punishing documentary, but it's so fascinating.
I know.
And you think of all these like cute little Joshi girls who are, you know, come out and smile, and you see the training that they go through, at least went through at that time. I don't think Emi Sakura is, you know, torturing Lulu Pencil, but yeah, it's really great.
Would not survive. She would not survive the Gaia Academy.
I might disagree with you there. One of our news notes that I'll bring up is Lulu Pencil is coming to America.
I heard that. I've got my Lulu Pencil back. I don't know where it is.
Throw it on. You won't be alone.
Oh my gosh! Wait, hold on a second. I'll be right back.
So Lulu Pencil, for those listening, is the official wrestler of Wrestling Club. It was Lanny Poffo, but he's been now that Darren's not here, and I gotta say, Lanny Poffo is not the official wrestler of Wrestling Club. It's Lulu Pencil, and we got the Pencil Army here representing. Lulu Pencil is coming. Our top story: Lulu Pencil is coming to America with Emi Sakura, who's returning to AEW. Will we see Lulu Pencil on Dark? On Dynamite, on Rampage, who knows? Will WWE sign her away? I would if I were Vince. It's incredible. Lulu, we're rooting for you. You're our favorite. What do you like about Lulu Pencil? What got you the hat?
So literally, I've seen her wrestle like no times, but I watched a video that kind of was like a mini documentary with very strange English narration that my friend Benel sent me. Benel's also known as the Notorious Han, the Lucha Pig in the ring. But
wait, was it our documentary?
It was like, you know, I want to find it, but it was on.
Was it me doing a Chris Jericho impression?
No, it was
okay.
A British person talking over this like segment specifically about Lulu Pencil, and it kind of covered like the beginning of her career, kind of up to the point where she started wrestling that guy from the UK. Can you remind
Chris
me
Brooks?
Yes, Chris Brooks. And so it showed a lot of like the rivalry between her and Chris Brooks, which is adorable as hell, you know. And that's where I got in there. I was like, I can't believe somebody like this has made such a career out of like being this strange little wrestler, you know. And I before I got into pro wrestling, I am still, but I have been part of several comedy wrestling shows including this one called XSW, Extremely Serious Wrestling, and Lulu Pencil would be a character in XSW, you know, like that would be her wheelhouse. And the fact that she's like coming in, you said she's wrestling Emmy Sakura.
Emmy is the trainer. You actually are wearing
They're together.
The Emmy Pencil variation of the hat.
Yeah, but she is like a real wrestler, right? That was the impression.
Yeah, she's a legend.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, she's so over, and it makes next to no sense to me. But actually, at the same time, like I was over on Twitter before my debut for literally no reason. So, you know, the internet's a special place, I guess.
I mean,
my take on the pencil.
Well, you said you watch Rampage. Fuego del Sol, who's like 1 in 50, he got his AEW contract. You know, it's not about wins and losses all the time, but we had a fun match. Christian Cage winning the Impact title from Kenny Omega. Miro crushing Fuego del Sol, and then Britt Baker as the unlikely hometown hero against Red Velvet, who is another favorite of mine. I love to stir it up. I love the music, the New Jack Swing music. It's my favorite wrestling theme.
Awesome.
Yeah, what'd you think of the show?
It was I mean, again, so impressed at how succinct it was. But they also cut out all the picture-in-picture stuff, so I guess I missed a little bit. But I thought it was so great, you know, like as much as I like to kind of shit on straight white guys in wrestling, like being so over or whatever, but Kenny Omega is such an amazing performer, and going up against Christian Cage, I always mix the cages up. There's
Christian
a lot
Cage,
of people with the last name of Cage. Okay,
Christian
so
Cage, Brian Cage, Adam Page, Ethan Page. Wait a minute, you mentioned straight white guys.
Yes.
I got a surprise for you. We got a special run-in coming in. He's a straight white guy himself. Isaiah, man upstairs, Isaiah, if you could help us out. We got Darren running in. Welcome to Wrestling Club, Darren. Joining in progress.
Up? Hey, what's up? It's Darren here.
Oh my God, you sound like you're a dying robot. It's so sad. I just have to mute him. I have to mute him. I had to mute him.
No, what's so sad about it?
Okay.
Cool.
Well, welcome,
Hey
Darren.
there, Wrestling Club. Hey there,
I
Wrestling
had to do your
Club.
intro.
It's Darren here in Middle Island, Long Island. Did you screw it up?
Oh, yeah, I gave up right after Grapple Fans.
You want me to do it? I'll do it for you.
Yes,
no,
please.
I don't want to do it.
Just so Sazzy can hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Greetings, Grapple fans, and welcome to WFMU's Wrestling Club, the only space that's safe for all wrestling fans, whether you're casual, laughs, obsessed, or ashamed. I'm Darren Maybe, broadcasting from my summer residence in Middle Island, New York, and I'm joined by my tag team partner, the Joe C to my Stephanie, Brett Davis. Brett!
He's the broadcaster.
I am the broadcaster.
There's the reason why Jerry the King Lawler didn't do the Skittles ads.
That's right, but I'm also on a bender, so you know, there's a yin into a yang. You know what I mean?
Okay, so yeah, I was a little coy about what you're up to. I wasn't aware it was a bender.
Yes, it's for Brazzers.com. We're not here to talk about my personal life. We're here to talk wrestling.
You've been wanting to work with Brazzers
so
for a long
Brett,
time.
as a host, you are so rude. You don't even introduce me to our guests. You know.
Well, guest introduction happened about 20 minutes ago, but we've got
Brother,
Sazzy
we're
Boatright.
non-linear. We're non-linear, pal. We're tearing up the script.
Fine. Well, we're talking about AEW. I know you are in the middle of stuff, but do you have any thoughts on?
I'm gonna lay in the grass. Isn't this nice?
This is very beautiful.
Wow.
You look like
Sky.
You look like an Uber driver when they would all have the same background.
You know, kind of my life. I feel like an Uber driver sometimes, but we'll talk about that later. What do you want me to talk about? Wrestling? I love it.
We were just talking about Rampage.
Rampage? What's Rampage? I haven't watched any wrestling in 2 weeks, so I have no idea. So what do we got? Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. Where's Gage? Is Gage in this? I have a question. Excuse me, I have a question. When are we going to get Gage Goldberg versus Nick Gage? When's Gage getting pizza cuttered? Maybe they can even team up. Saying Gage versus Gage. This is a good idea.
With the amount that Gage is gaining muscle mass and height, I might put my money on Gage Goldberg. He takes that. We know that Goldberg's having they are immune to glass.
Oh.
They just punch through it. Goldberg famously punched through a limo window for no reason on Nitro once.
Tore his tendon, ruined his career. It's a horrible thing. Should I do it this way? Is this better? It don't fucking matter. Never mind. Guys have been drinking for 4 days straight.
Darren truly is on a bender. Darren's hanging out with A-list celebrities. Darren's
that's right.
Listen to Blues Boogie.
Tequila, tequila, baby. Tequila, tequila. We're finding that hollow earth. We're digging for it. 30 feet. We're getting to 32, and we're going to see the truth. That's right. Check that out. Coming to Netflix. This anyway. Rampage. Gosh. I did watch Rampage. It was great. It was such a good show. What?
Yeah.
What? You had a
show? Rampage was a great show. He's saying.
It was so great. Yeah, no, it was like, you know what it was? I loved that it was like a 1 hour main event show. It was like the old WCW worldwide shows that we've talked about, where it's like, we're going to have an hour and it's going to be main event wrestling. That's what that show should be. Like, make Dynamite the old school Raw, where that's like the angles and like you get new talent over, and make Rampage the main show. You might as well. I mean, Friday night is in a lot of ways, Monday night is not so great. Wednesday is established now. Friday, SmackDown's there, but I think Rampage going forward can blow SmackDown out of the water. I mean, no offense to, Sad Baron, who I relate to. I never thought I could relate to Baron Corbin as a wrestler or a person, but boy, they really pulled at my heartstrings. Anyway, Rampage, what'd you think, Brett? You liked it? You loved it?
I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was over and done with, and then I got to, being on the West Coast, then I get to now I can just go out. I got a little power hour wrestling, and now I could hit the town.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think it's great. Yeah, I'm excited. Next week, huh? Big one, big guy coming back. Yeah. Who would be the worst person they could debut? Okay, so if they don't debut CM Punk, who's the worst person they could debut instead?
I don't know,
like the bottom. Yeah, just like Ryback comes out. Or Enzo. Just have Enzo jump guardrail. Enzo jumps the guardrail with William Morrissey or whatever that guy's name is. W. Morrissey. And they take out CM Punk, and that's the last time we see him. That's the last, and then he's on Raw in 2 weeks. He's at SummerSlam, getting pinned by I don't know. Anyway,
I think that I have a bad memory now because I've been hit in the head a lot of times. But who's that guy who got released in the first wave of releases from WWE that everybody shit on as soon as he went back to the Indies because he shit on the Indies pretty recently?
Oh, Braun Strowman.
That guy.
Did he go back to the Indies? I didn't hear about this.
No, he's going to. But no, remember, last year when the pandemic started and indie workers were like, oh, maybe like start a GoFundMe or like, what am I gonna fucking do? I can't work, bro. I was just like, yo, when I couldn't work, I would have been like, oh yeah. Yeah, that guy sucks. He's too big. I don't like it. And I like big weird wrestlers, but he's not even weird. He's just like a guy that's like, I'm surprised he doesn't have like, I don't know. I feel like he's a guy that's like gonna try like, I don't know. I don't know what he is. I don't like him. That's what it comes down to. I don't like that beard, that oiled up beard. No, I don't like him. I think he sucks. You think he's going to Impact? We're getting off the. I'm getting on a tangent.
Well, we are talking about Impact. We had Darren, a friend of the show. We've been off for 2 weeks. We did our 1987 recap episode, which I suggest you check out if you don't want to hear about the modern day stuff. You want to hear about the old stuff. And we had a very special guest on that show in the First Lady of Wrestling, Missy Hyatt, who made her Impact Wrestling debut or return. Who knows what happened 2002 to 2004. But she wrestled with the #1 contender Brian Myers in a tag team match against I forget who they wrestled. You watched that show, right?
Impact?
I think Darren said he watched it. We were excited to have a wrestling club member, Matt Revolt, on.
I couldn't find a stream of it. I didn't watch it. I told you I watched no wrestling.
You go to Impact Wrestling's on-demand website,
Twitch,
and you pay the money to watch it.
Oh no! What else are we talking? What else are we talking about? I'm gonna have to hang up in a minute or two. There's some police activity going on over here on Middle Island, but we got anything else you want to? Well, come back. I'll come back.
Yeah, come back when you can. Well, we might talk about Woodstock next week, if that's the case.
Oh, we're going to talk about Woodstock.
Yeah, why don't you tell the story as long as you're here?
Well, the problem is we can't hear Darren, so he can't tell stories right now.
Woodstock. Do we got a Woodstock? Did we get to the Woodstock discussion yet?
We didn't, but I think
I'll come back. I'll come back later once I'm poolside. I can answer all your questions. Did we talk about Bobby Eaton? Oh, I watched so much Bobby Eaton last week. Beautiful Bobby.
He said you wanted to watch no wrestling, and then you watched hours of Bobby Eaton. Darren, you sound so bad. I think we need to disconnect.
All right, I'll be back. What?
Hang up, Sazzy. Hang up.
Well, Darren's truly on a bender. It's hot vac summer and he's feeling it. We watched a little lucha. We meaning me alone in my room last night. I don't know where your history with lucha libre is. But I watch it once a year. I watch TripleMania once a year. I have my favorites. I was sad Big Mommy wasn't on it, but otherwise I thought it was a fun show. Have you watched AAA, CMLL, anything like that?
Well, no, I haven't seen AAA. Everything from AAA last night I saw on Twitter, which looked amazing. I mean, it's just nice to see people who have been released by the WWE like bouncing back onto these like amazing television promotions. I used to be really into Lucha Underground, so that was like kind of my crash course into like current Lucha wrestlers. And my favorite was Sexy Star.
Oh yeah, but she got in trouble.
Yeah.
Who did she shoot on? Was it Rosemary?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah.
She broke her arm.
Yeah.
But...
Come on, Sexy Star. We had a fun show. One recently released WWE talent that it was like, oh God, this guy had so much potential, and now we may never see him again. But thankfully, we did see him again. Ric Flair.
Oh yeah.
living up to his
Cut out for, like,
potential.
a second, I was like, wait, shit, who are we talking about?
The young talent was the second to Andrade, his son-in-law, as Andrade faced Kenny Omega with Conan in his corner in a real like loose t-shirt. Kind of, I've actually dressed like Conan was dressed. It was a fine match. Kind of, it's AAA, so with AAA, I come to expect things are going to be a little sloppy and confusing, and they were. The end of the show. Thankfully, I had Twitter open and I had a lot of people explaining the storyline, but it was a tribute. I'm just glad I wasn't watching with somebody because I'd have to explain. Oh, Psycho Clown is Super Porky's son, and he's trying to get revenge. And the Rudo is getting his head shaved by a child because he respects Super Porky. Like that's a very confusing sentence to me.
That sounds like some lucha shit.
Yeah, lots of little kids in lucha masks. One like newborn baby that Mystices Jr. held up on the top rope with a very scary spot.
Oh, no.
AAA has a stage that shoots a lot of fire. So Psycho Clown's kids were like running through the fire. It's like no,
it's not fun. Oh my god, that's like Brooklyn 4th of July stuff right there.
Oh god, yeah. These kids seem like they live in Bushwick. But if you live in Bushwick, you'll just get used to seeing like kids at 2 a.m.
with like giant rocket like fireworks from Delaware, and they set them down right in front of you on your bicycle and light it and then run away. And I'm like, I don't have the emotional bandwidth for this, you know?
Yeah.
That was yeah. I mean, Flatbush is a little bit better, but Bushwick was like the Wild West on the 4th of July. So happy to be out of there, actually.
I miss it, honestly. But
really?
Nice to have a little chaos energy from TripleMania. Deonna Purrazzo won the Reina de Reinas championship, which was cool. I'm from New Jersey. So anytime she's from Hackettstown, and the wrestling club are associated with New Jersey's WFMU. Just imagine a Lucha Libre announcer saying Hackettstown, Nueva Jersey. It was like very kind of surreal. But yeah, we on the show we don't talk about Deonna Purrazzo a lot, but I think she's really great. And yeah.
It is really great. And I kind of think she's a bit slept on in terms of like the upper echelons of pro wrestling. I mean, that was something that I was seeing on Twitter a lot last night, actually, was like, man, WWE missed out by not signing Deonna Purrazzo, She's kind of right up their alley too, but I wouldn't wish WWE on my worst enemy. So that's
I mean, they had her signed. She wrestled on Raw even once, and nothing came of it. Yeah.
Damn. That's fine. There's so many other outlets now, it's like I feel like I got into wrestling at the exact right time, because there are so many different directions a wrestler can go. WWE is not the top of the mountain anymore. The internet. Yeah. Period. As the kids say.
One person that maybe won the internet this year, who's finally winning matches, is Maki Ito. They had the Tokyo Joshi show. She won the Princess Cup, and is now, the Maki Ito thing was that she was a star and everybody likes her, but she never really won a lot. But she beat Mizuki, who was her longtime rival. She beat Shoko Nakajima for the Princess Cup. Now she's in line for a title shot. I don't know. What's your opinion of Maki Ito? We're big fans here.
Yeah, that's Stardom too, right? She's on Stardom.
She's in Tokyo Joshi.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I thought, okay. So when I was binge watching all that Joshi wrestling, I don't remember where I was watching stuff or what I was watching, but I think that it's just kind of impressive that these girls do what they do, at such a high level. I mean, I guess I'm thinking about guy and girls still always forever, but just kind of like the level of like passion they put into every single move. And that's the big thing. I mean, my coaches kind of drill this into us that it's always moments over moves, and they're kind of just like amazing dramatic actors in there as well as superior athletes. And so it's kind of like, so I'm not speaking directly to Maki Ito, but it's something that I just have a lot of respect for those women. I need to catch up on other things besides Stardom, but I feel like I slept on Stardom for so long that I am now like hooked on that.
Darren, he loves Stardom. I think I'm more of a Tokyo Joshi fan. That's where all my favorites are. It's Magical Girl, Yuka Sakazaki, and then the champion, the princess champion, which is it's hard to say, but Miyu Yamashita is another person I don't really talk about enough on this show. She's so cool, so smooth. She's really great. So now they're going to be facing each other in about 2 months or so, a month. But yeah, and Maki, the offer still stands. Everybody was like, bring Maki Ito to the US, and she lives in Japan. But if she were to marry someone in America, then she could stay as long as she wanted, and the wrestling world would rejoice, and I'd happily take the bullet for wrestling's sake. So, and that was not that was Bryce Remsburg's suggestion. It's not mine. I'm just happy I'd be happy to do it for wrestling. Speaking of Japan, New Japan did a show last night right here, right down the street at the LA Coliseum. It was fun, weird show. It was in a parking lot.
Okay. Was PB Smith on that, or am I making that up? I just saw a clip of him at an outdoor show.
Who'd you say?
PB Smooth.
I don't know. I didn't watch the whole show. I watched the big matches.
Okay. So tell me about it.
But they do have a lot of New Japan Strong is now its like own wrestling organization. You got the AEW Impact people coming in, Moxley, Moose, Good Brothers, etc. But they have Royce Isaacs, who I once managed, was there. Yeah. Wow. In a match in Denver.
Random.
I don't know. There were a lot of multi-man matches where all the guys kind of look the same. And I kind of skip those, even though I know they're all great. But
that's what I'm talking about, though. You're like, I don't know the difference between this guy's gimmick and that guy's gimmick, except this guy's from New Jersey and this guy's from Connecticut, and I'm like, I don't even know enough about either states to care,
Yeah, it's like I follow wrestling very closely, and it's like, wow, I'm gonna learn who JR Kratos is. I don't know. It's a lot. There's NWA. They're building
first name. I can't deal.
Yeah. But all these places are better to be than WWE. Since we've last been on the air talking about current events, WWE's released like 10 more people, including Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt.
Mercedes Martinez. Another one who's a legend,
right,
would make maybe sense to keep her around because she's really great and has been doing it a long time. But who knows? Bray Wyatt is kind of surprising. Some are saying there's more to it than just WWE not treasuring him, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on Bray Wyatt?
I mean, I think the same thing about him that I do about most of these people who got released is like these are talented wrestlers with a solid gimmick, but maybe they don't have like wide appeal, but they're technically amazing and they always put on a good show because they tell the story in the ring, you know? And I think that's just sorely undervalued at WWE. Also, I just kind of wonder about where Vince McMahon's head is, like as like an old man who's got his head hit a bunch of times. Like, I don't know. And, you know, I've heard from various sources that he's the last, you know, he has to sign off on everything, on every little thing that happens on the air. And I kind of think that he doesn't understand like where the wrestling industry is going. I mean, I'm just little me, you know, with my, you know, one real match under my belt. But, you know, I think that it's just going to be so different. You know, it's got to be, you've got to value your Bray Wyatts, your Ruby Riots, your fucking like Deonna Purrazzo's or oh my God, my brain just shut down. Mercedes Martinez's, you know, like, but again, like the dissemination of wrestling now into like all these various networks and indie promotions and stuff is, I mean, I don't know, like they're all in better hands by not being in that company, you know.
True. Yeah. There's like a handful of people that I look at and I'm like, yeah, this is maybe where you should be. But not all of them. Like a lot of them are, you know, and it's taken a complete sea change in the world of wrestling to kind of make that apparent. But it'll be very interesting to watch the next year of wrestling, see how WWE, which, you know, we got the news that they are reshaping NXT. No more midgets was the internal according to Dave Meltzer, that was the internal memo. No more midgets, no more people over 40. Oh my God. You know, Vince McMahon's gonna Vince McMahon. And I will say, you know, I watched a little bit of SmackDown. Letting John Cena and Roman Reigns go at each other without a script is great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That promo he cut on Roman Reigns was really great. You know.
Yeah.
Cena is a good performer. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
I mean, there is some of the WWE pitfalls where it's like penis jokes and bitch and whatever. But you know, they're two charismatic guys who are good at what they do, working without a bad script. And you know, the same can be said for Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. They're fun.
I can watch
everything
Sasha
else.
Bitch compilation so many times over.
I don't know about this.
Just her saying bitch in her like guttural, like mean voice.
Yeah. She's got this accent that I've never heard anywhere else, but she adds a so she would be like, "You're a bitch."
I always thought it was like bitch, you know.
Oh God.
Just like drag it out, like, you know, as if she were dragging a woman out by her hair. She says it bitch that way to me. But it's really, really a lot. But I don't know where she's from. Where is she from? Is she from? I feel like she's from New Jersey or something.
I don't know off the top of my head. She is from Fairfield, California. So I guess it is kind of like a California accent. Yeah. Fairfield, which is outside of San Francisco. So, but yeah. Otherwise, I'm not too interested in SummerSlam. I'll watch it because it's a big show, and you know, I want to see Gage Goldberg.
Oh yeah. those things where, I mean, I think the last WrestleMania, the only thing I watched was the Sasha Banks Bianca Belair match, and I thought that was wonderful. You know,
It was the best thing
it was
WWE's
so
done in years. Mm-hmm.
and that's like, I think that's kind of the pinnacle of the WWE. That's like as progressive as it gets there, you know, is letting two amazing Black women fight each other for a title, and then kind of let it go of like 5,000 other people who are also very talented and John Cena. So
yeah,
cool, great. Yeah.
But other matches include Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal with Veer and Shanky. I don't care about Jinder Mahal, but because I loved Ring Ka King, which was the India-based Impact spinoff, I have a soft spot for any very green Indian wrestler. Giant Zanjeer was released, and it broke my heart. The Bollywood Boys, who are Ring Ka King OGs, were released. So, you know, it's all very devastating to me. Sheamus versus Damian Priest, Edge versus Seth Rollins, the Drip King. Too many wrestlers talk about drip. It's like, don't teach them words. Usos versus the Mysterios, Nikki almost a superhero versus Rhea versus Charlotte.
That'll be good, I think. I don't know.
It'll be good. I love Nikki Cross. Yeah. I look at Charlotte.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, this is just what happens when you do a show on Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Charlotte and Becky Lynch at. I went to Evolution for my birthday like a couple years ago. It was on my birthday, or it was near my birthday. But I was watching that match between, and you know, it was like in the thick of Charlotte and Becky Lynch's like conflict, and I was crying. I was crying. And like, you know, Charlotte Flair's like laying in the middle of the ring and all of her eyelashes have like popped off and she's like looks really dazed. She just had like 12 computer chairs thrown on her, and I was just like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. You know, because it was just like women in the ring, like, oh my god, you know.
I mean, that was the best like main roster show that they've done in years. But it's because Triple H was running it and not Vince. But you know, maybe we'll get another. I know we are getting another one. We're getting Queen of the Ring.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool.
Or maybe it's not a show. It's a tournament, and I believe. Let me fact check this before I report it because I don't want people commenting that I'm wrong. But I believe the finals of Queen of the Ring. Unless I just fell for some Twitter thing. Okay, this is from the Sportster, which is where I get all of my news. Nice. WWE will reportedly hold a King of the Ring tournament alongside its first ever Queen of the Ring, and both finals will take place at the next Saudi Arabia show.
Oh my god, I have my dogs here now. That's crazy. So what, all the women are going to be in like head to toe, like those suits that
they'll be covered up. If it's like that Natalia match, they'll wear like a bodysuit and then like a Raw shirt over it. But yeah, I don't know. Cool for little girls in the audience because that's who they seem to say it's about, but you know,
I don't. It reminds me
Saudi
of when
Arabia
I taught cross country in college, and we ran against like Jewish universities, and these girls would be running in like, you know, a skirt and pants and a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt in like 90-degree weather, and I was like, you're my hero. You're the strongest person I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't want to judge the culture because it's a more complicated issue, but It's just like WWE patting themselves on the back for having women on the show is like such a backwards.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
Shouldn't be proud of anything involving Saudi Arabia. You know they're funding the Taliban, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing?
But isn't
WWE
also like Vince
and the
McMahon's
Taliban.
wife isn't, yeah. Wait, Vince McMahon's wife is in charge of the America First Super PAC.
Yes.
Yeah. So that checks out.
Yeah. I mean, it's a rotten company. It's rotten in the core. But you know, it's like Ring of Honor is also a rotten company, and it's less obvious.
Yeah.
It's not like in your face. So
yeah. I'm not super privy to the whole to like all the complications of asking for payment and stuff, but I hear that can be an issue there. Or you know, just I mean, it's like this across performing arts, right? Like people are like, oh, if you show up and you build the ring, then maybe, just maybe, I'll get you on the next show, you know. And that's the kind of stuff that I know Ring of Honor does. And I don't know, I'm whatever. I mean, I don't want to work. I don't want to do free work anymore. I'm fucking 34 years old. I don't want to work for free, you know. How do we get on this topic? I don't know.
If you believe all the owners of IHOPs across the country, you're not alone. Nobody wants to work anymore. You know, I wish wrestling. I wish there was a sort of like an egalitarian paradise for wrestling where people of all colors and creeds and orientations can come together in peace, love, and harmony. You know, something like Woodstock, but for wrestling. I wish there was something like that. And by Woodstock, I mean Woodstock, the first Woodstock, not the third one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Like a wrestling Woodstock that's not like Woodstock '99.
Yeah. Would you know of any?
I bet maybe.
Let's hear it.
It's called Poly-Am Woodstock, but it's not happening in Woodstock. Just like the real Woodstock didn't happen in Woodstock, it happened in Bethel Woods. Great. Good parallel there. It's happening in Pearl River, New York, which is probably about an hour away from me. I'm in South Brooklyn, and I think it's like an hour and a half away. So it's really quite accessible, because the big fear that everybody has, like, oh my God, we're going to Woodstock and we're gonna have to like find an Airbnb. It's like a 7-hour drive, and you know, whatever. So MV worked that out real nice. But yeah, we're doing. I mean, MV has organized this amazing roster of promotions, and each promotion gets their own block of time. And so I'm in the first block, and I might be in the last block, TBD. But in the first block, I am wrestling Brother Greatness, who is actually one of my mentors as well. And so we will be going head-to-head in a singles match right at noon to kick off the entire festival. And then it'll go all day until probably midnight. And it'll end. Invictus will follow us, and No Peace Underground, and I'm going to forget somebody. And then MV has curated his own block, his own little wrestling show right at the end. So it's going to be insane. It's going to be hot. People are going to be drunk. People are going to be high. It's going to be peace, love, and wrestling for sure.
I love it. Any fires?
I don't know if anybody's planning any fires right now, but I'll bring fire stuff just in case somebody wants to start a fire. Get together and make a little fire.
It'd be
but
nice.
I'm sure there will be like thumbtacks and barbed wire chairs and probably some fluorescent bulbs. I don't know, but I mean, No Peace Underground is there. Like 5,000 fluorescent tubes will be broken. So that'll be fun. And yeah, so that's all I know. Y'all gotta find your own way there. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know how you get tickets. I think you have to email MV directly. It's like bookmvyoung@icloud.com or some shit like that. So I think I got that right.
I think you did, because it turns out this is a 2-part episode. Next week, Darren will be here, and he'll be able to tell us his story of going to Woodstock 99 as a child and getting lost.
So fucking weird, man. Like that must have sucked for him. Very scarring.
And we will talk about Woodstock 99, which check out that documentary on HBO Max. It's fine, but just what it covers is so incredible. And it's a dark thing, and at the beginning they're like, it's very easy to frame this as a comedy. And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, but this is a horror story. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. But so we'll be talking about that. We'll talk about just how WWF in 1999 was so part of that kind of culture of Woodstock, new metal, etc. And knock on wood, I believe we'll be joined by MV Young, who will tell us more about this show. I'll get the skinny on all the details if you're interested in going. And that's at the end of August, right?
Yeah, it's August 28th.
Yeah.
Pearl River, New York.
So you could book MV Young at iCloud.com. That would suck if there's actually a ticket link. And he just gets like hundreds of emails saying, "Oh, could I get a ticket?" But we'll sort that out. But it's easy to find yourself.
Can we do a quick plug for his new Twitter handle too? Because he got
Yes.
suspended and lost like 3/4 of his followership, but he's now King MV Young, not the real MV Young. He is King MV Young. If you were, on Twitter and concerned about him because you hadn't seen any tweets from him, that's why he was suspended indefinitely from Twitter.
Did he show pipe or something?
It was probably had something to do with sex.
Yeah.
Or he tweeted something today that was like, I love posting videos of beating people up and shitting on homophobic people, and I was like, you're gonna get suspended again because Twitter hates that apparently.
Well, I have so many questions about MV Young, but I'll save them for next week. He's a truly interesting character.
Yeah,
but you know what? So are you. For the clips I saw your match last night, it looks like you're the total package already, and you'll only get better. I can't wait to see you on Dark in 2 weeks.
I'll be on Dark next week.
Yeah, you're going to be wrestling Lulu Pencil.
Yeah, yes. I can't wait. I'll know I have made it when I wrestle Lulu Pencil in a dentist's office. That's my dream.
That is the dream for all of us. I'll come out of retirement. I 1-0 in wrestling, but I'll come out of retirement to fight Lulu Pencil. And you know what? I'll say I'll marry Lulu Pencil too if it'll keep her around.
Hell yeah!
I'll marry any foreign wrestler. I'll say that.
Save yourself for a Japanese wrestler because we really need more of them over here. So
yeah.
I'll put my bet on Akito or Lulu Pencil.
Well, thank you so much for joining Wrestling Club. You're now an official member in the ranks with the Terry Funks and Cole Cabanas of the world. So I appreciate you joining the show. Man upstairs, Isaiah. Thank you for being here and helping with Darren's screamy running in the middle of the episode. And if you like the show, again, leave us a review, leave us a 5-star rating. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Club WFMU, on Twitter at Wrestling_Club_. We got new commercial compilations. We got all sorts of goodies if you look around. And we'll be back next week to talk more about Woodstock, both 99 and Poly-Am. Thank you, Sazzy, for joining us. I don't know how Darren ends the show, so I'm going to end quietly. Thanks, everybody.
The Wrestling Club with Darren and Brett. We've got a show that you'll never forget.